Hello again, chaps and chapettes, how are we all doing? It is lovely to see you all again, as always. So that psychotic, murderous, evil piece of gonorrhea-ridden vulture spunk is now back in the news. That person being, of course, is Axel Rudiger-Barner, who has been making a series of threats against staff within the prison he is currently incarcerated in. I do have a solution to dealing with this son of a bitch, which I think is most effective and, more importantly, cost effective to the taxpayer. But I'll get to that once I've skimmed through this story with you guys. Killer Axel Rudiger-Barner has made more chilling threats to jail guards since he allegedly attacked a prison officer. Now, I've heard in the grapevine that he did indeed attack a screw in the prison, so I'm not quite sure what the allegedly is doing there. You can scrub that out as far as I'm concerned. Rudiger-Barner, 18, is now allowed out of his jail cell only when 5 staff in riot gear unlock him. But a source said Rudiger-Barner is pure evil and the threats have continued despite his previous attack. Staff fear a repeat and he has nothing to lose. Threats are noted on the system if a prisoner says things like, "I will unalive you," or "I will smash your face." They are also recorded if a prisoner shouts threats or things like "Alan's snack bar." Notes have been kept about Rudiger-Barner and they all point to him being the most dangerous prisoner in Britain. I find this extremely hard to believe, my friends. I agree what he did to those girls was beyond contempt, beyond evil, but I've seen CCTV footage of him entering that building to do what he was going to do on that day. He's 18 years old. He's a kid. I've seen the CCTV images. He looks about 5'4". I can pretty much guarantee to each and every one of you out there, if you got 5 burly prison officers to get him in a cell, they would snap him in half like a twig in under 5 seconds. I can pretty much guarantee you. It is incredibly rare for someone to be on 5-man unlock. The last inmate I can remember who was on it was Charles Bronson. Now, yeah, I can quite understand how Charlie Bronson would be deemed a danger within the prison service because anyone who got in his way wouldn't be in his way for very long. He would flatten them. On a side note, I do think Charlie Bronson needs to be released from prison. He has well overstayed his prison sentence. He's paid his dues. Let the man out to enjoy his fucking final years. Give him his parole. Let him see his family and be done with it, for fuck's sake. Let the man go free. In Charles Bronson in the 1990s, and he is a much bigger and stronger guy than Rudiger-Barner. Yeah, even Charlie Bronson, who's I think he's in his 70s now, put him in a jail cell with Rudiger-Barner, no one else. Believe you me, Rudiger-Barner is not leaving that jail cell on his own legs. Not a chance in hell. It just shows how dangerous he is. And it is even more rare for someone to be banned from all IT and computer systems. That happens only to the most dangerous terrorists in the system. Inmates cannot go online, but they do things like order things from the canteen and education courses on the internet-style system. But even that is seen too dangerous for Rudiger-Barner. He is completely unrepentant and as far from being rehabilitated as you can get. Yeah, there's no rehabilitating this kind of evil, if you ask me. Now, before I go on, guys, I've got to say that being a prison worker, particularly a screw, is an unthankful job. You get paid pittance to put yourself in immense danger, particularly the state of our prisons at the moment being run by Muslim gangs and various other criminals willy-nilly, all at large, basically. So, yeah, I think ex-Army Paz was a prison screw. I'm not quite sure. He was in the prison service and there's no wonder he got out when he did because he'd probably seen what sort of danger he was going to be in. Threats to your life, threats to your family's life, all host of fucking shit, all for mediocre pay package. Anyway, my friends, my solution to this son of a bitch and for other evil bastards such as Rudiger-Barner who do infect our prison system. Now, as you all know, Tommy Robinson just done about 18 months stint inside, and he spent about 90% of it in solitary confinement for his own safety. And Tommy has stipulated himself in an interview that he spoke with a psychologist who came around to see him to make sure, he was quite mentally stable to be on his own for 23 hours a day, how long it takes for it to start affecting your mental health, your mental stability, being locked away from everybody else. And the psychologist said to Tommy, somewhere around 4 weeks. He was in there for what, 18 months. Please do correct me in the comments if I'm wrong there, but something along the lines of 18 months. Now, I think something similar should be done with this Rudy Gabbana and other evil bastards that are in the prison system. Keep them in solitary confinement, not for 23 hours a day, 24 hours a day. They eat the food in there, but there's a small caveat here, what I would do if I was the warden. There was no way of this happening, believe me guys, because of his human rights. This is just my idea in an ideal world. If I was the warden of that prison, I'd keep him locked up like the animal he is, but would not allow him to sleep. I'd make the cell that he's in completely bright. When he started falling asleep, I'd start playing loud music, you know what they do in intelligence services when they're trying to interrogate somebody. It's mental torture or something, I think it's called. Anyway, play loud music, get him sleep deprived until his mind simply goes. It breaks. And then once that happens, then you can safely transfer him to Broadmoor or some other psychiatric unit, and then it will play out something along the lines of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I'm not quite sure if you guys have ever seen that. I'm pretty sure you have. It's quite a popular film. Jack Nicholson, you know how the story goes. If there's one way to tame an evil animal such as this, it's psychologically. You can't physically hurt him, because then he'd win some sort of like huge compensation payout. But keep it on the down low, keep it quiet, put him in some kind of cell in the basement where no one else can hear, no one else can see, sleep deprive him of food, just give him the bare basics to keep him alive, and eventually his mind will snap and he will basically be a drooling idiot for his entire stay at Broadmoor or some other psychiatric unit. It's a perfect storm, don't you think? If you can't let them swing from a lamppost through lack of corporal punishment, I think that's a pretty good solution, don't you guys? Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.